Varsity Invitational.
3 minutes.
American Specialty Health, a leading health services company, is the proud sponsor of the new championship stage. Campland on the Bay, San Diego's favorite campground, located on the shores of Mission Bay, sends up a Cox Box shout out to today's competitors. Good luck to everybody.
2 minutes.
Director, hear me on the talk back?
Let's go through the trough here and go over here.
Cal, Stanford, Michigan, Temple, Gonzaga. Attention. Go.
We have a start to event number 8, Men's Collegiate Varsity Invitational. Lane 1, Cal Berkeley, your earlier race leader. In lane 2, Stanford. Michigan is in 3, Temple University, then Gonzaga. All boats away nicely. Golden Bears in lane number 1 with a 2-seat advantage over Stanford. The 3rd position is Temple, and then it's Michigan, and then Gonzaga. Coming up to 250 meters into the race, California, your race leader by 4 seats, make it 5 seats over Stanford. 3rd spot, the Owls from Temple. And then it's Gonzaga. University of Michigan is in that 5th position. Get a stroke check here. Leading crew, University of California at 37 as they're shifting into their race pace. Now with a 5-seat advantage over Stanford. Positions after that, Temple in the 3rd spot, then Gonzaga, and Michigan trails. Right now, the coxswain of the California boats looking over at the bowman as we pass through the 500-meter mark. University of California, Berkeley, your leader, followed by Stanford. Then it's Temple, then Gonzaga, and then the University of Michigan.
We're on the water with the second of the 3 heats here in the Men's Collegiate Varsity. Check that the second of 2 in the University Men's Collegiate Varsity Invitational. It is the University of California, Berkeley, Cal in lane number 1 and on the lead. Stanford on their outside shoulder in lane 2. Then comes Michigan in lane 3. Temple is moving out of lane number 4, and Gonzaga all the way out in lane number 5. Our current leader, Cal, along the shoreline.
Again, in this race, we have some early season form, but the big guns from California and Stanford have not raced so far this season. This is their first regatta. California finished 6th at the head of the Charles and were 3rd at the IRA. Michigan in lane 3 are the premier men's club program in the country. They're the current ACRA, American Collegiate Rowing Association champions. That's the organization for club programs as opposed to varsity programs. Temple in lane 4 have beaten Drexel, Bucknell, Penn Lightweights and Villanova, but have gone down to the strong club program from the University of Virginia. And Gonzaga in lane 5 have beaten the University of San Diego, but have gone down to UC San Diego, who were in the previous race.
Moving through to our 1,000-meter mark is the crew on the water. The crew's on the water. Cal in lane number 1, Stanford in 2, going 1-2. Lane number 3, Michigan trailing currently. Temple in lane number 4, and Gonzaga all the way on the outside in lane number 5. This is the biggie as the boys come down the course with Cal hanging on the shoreline and Stanford on their outside shoulder.
Any race between Cal and Stanford is obviously bitterly fought. This is no exception. Cal have grabbed a lead. They're in the third 500 now, and Stanford are pushing back at them. The challenge to these two crews seems to be coming from the Temple crew in lane 4.
Temple slightly moving up on the outside. Stanford hanging on to that second position, but they need to be mostly concerned about the outside with Temple beginning to make a bit of a move. Michigan has tailed off, as have Gonzaga on the outside.
So it seems as though the third spot at this point in time is being held down by Temple. That's the third spot in the grand final. Cal and Stanford would seem to have a bit of a lock on the top two positions as we approach the final 500. But Michigan are starting their sprint. They're trying to get back on terms with Temple, and Gonzaga have not gone away on the outside.
Cal along the shoreline on the lead. They grabbed that lead early and apparently trying to make sure that they keep it all the way through. Stanford has stayed with them pretty much stroke for stroke, but they've not been able to eclipse the number 1 position. And continuing to hang in there on the outside is Temple. In between boats is Michigan, and then all the way on the outside, Gonzaga has picked up the stroke a little bit and has moved into a position to challenge Temple possibly on the outside. This is California on the shoreline. Stanford now with some open water back to Temple.
And very, very tight between the University of Michigan, who are charging hard, trying to get back across the front of Temple University, and Gonzaga are pushing hard on the outside as well. There's a third spot in the grand final up for grabs here, and Michigan are trying to come over the top of Temple in order to grab it.
Michigan has really picked up the stroke here in the last 100 meters to try to get back into this hunt, and they certainly are challenging Temple on the outside. Back to the early part of our race, the front of the race, it is Cal and Stanford pretty much in that position throughout, but let's watch for that third and final qualifying position. This is Michigan on the charge, closest to the shoreline. Temple is outside as Cal passes over the finish line, followed by Stanford. It is Michigan on the shore side, Temple on the outside. As they come down to the wire, it looks like Michigan unofficially held them off, and Temple got in there as a fourth position, but Michigan put on a furious charge during the last 150 meters and looks like they may have snuck into that third and final qualifying position.
Now, if you look at the Stanford crew that's just finished that race, you'll see something a little unusual about it. We're just watching the finish now, and it looks as though Michigan might have accomplished their mission and got over the top of Temple for that third spot in the grand final. But if you look at the Stanford crew, it's a very unusual rig. They have stroke and 7 on port side, they have bow and 2 on port side, and they have 3, 4, 5, and 6 all on starboard. It's not unusual to have an unusual rig where two people may sit on the same side in juxtaposition to each other, but to have all 4 on one side rowing in the middle of the boat, that is unusual. I've never seen that before.
Just retired after teaching at North Coast for 38 years. So, life is good.
Looking at the Temple boat there as we switch into the crowd, the Temple boat certainly were rushed almost right off their feet there. Michigan with a very impressive charge at the end. And certainly our hats off to Michigan for making a final charge like that, making a tremendous finish for that third and final qualifying position that had already been qualified by Cal and Stanford, the 1-2 boats.